The whisper of chaos. In the beginning, before the earth felt the warmth of the sun, before rivers carved through valleys, and before the stars pierced the endless night, there was only chaos. Imagine, if you can, a vast, swirling nothingness, a boundless expanse where time and space had yet to find form. It was not silence that filled this void, but a low, humming potential, a vibration of creation waiting to erupt. From this unfathomable abyss emerged the first forces of the universe. Gaia, the earth, steady and nurturing, her body forming the ground beneath the void. Uranus, the sky, vast and eternal, stretching endlessly above her. And Nyx, the night, cloaked in shadow and mystery, a veil that promised both wonder and fear. Gaia and Uranus were not mere forces, but beings of immense power and will. Their union gave birth to the Titans, being so mighty they could shape the world with a mere thought. Mountains rose to kiss the sky, oceans surged across barren plains, and stars ignited the heavens, illuminating the cosmos for the first time. But even as the Titans forged the earth and sky into balance, a whisper began to ripple through the void, a whisper carried by the breath of Nyx herself. It spoke of a time when this balance would shatter, when a child of the Titans would rise to challenge their rule and cast their world into chaos once more. Was this prophecy simply the musings of mortal minds trying to make sense of the unknowable, or was it a memory of something far older, an echo of a truth buried beneath the sands of time? To this day, the question lingers, like a distant storm on the horizon, the birth of Zeus, hidden in shadows. Among the Titans, Cronus stood above all, a king crowned not by divine right but by force. He had overthrown his own father, Uranus, in a brutal act of rebellion, wielding a sickle forged by Gaia herself. But victory brought not peace, only paranoia. The prophecy that foretold his rise now spoke of his fall. A child, born of his own blood, would one day overthrow him. Cronus's fear consumed him, and fear, as it so often does, turned to cruelty. Each time his wife Rhea bore him a child, Cronus seized the newborn and swallowed it whole. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon all consumed, their cries echoing only in Rhea's memory. But when Rhea became pregnant with her sixth child, her sorrow gave way to defiance. Guided by Gaia, she devised a plan to save her son. On the night of his birth, beneath a sky heavy with stars, Rhea fled. Across forests cloaked in moonlight and over hills that whispered of ancient power, she carried her child to the island of Crete. There, hidden within the Dictyon cave, Zeus was born. The cave itself seemed alive, its walls shimmering faintly as if the earth welcomed the infant god. Rhea entrusted him to Amalthea, the divine goat whose milk would nurture him, and to the Curetes, fierce warriors who clashed their shields and swords in rhythmic cacophony to drown out his cries. Meanwhile, Rhea returned to Cronus, cradling a stone wrapped in swaddling cloth. She presented it to him as her child, and Cronus, blind with fear, swallowed it whole. Even now, the Dictyon cave bears traces of this ancient story. Pottery fragments, votive offerings, and symbols carved into the stone hint at a connection to a time when the divine and the mortal worlds were not so far apart. Could this cave have truly cradled a god, or does it cradle something else, something we have yet to understand? The plan to overthrow. Cronus. Years passed, and Zeus grew strong, his laughter echoing through the halls of the Dictyon cave. But strength alone was not enough. As he learned of his siblings' fates, his determination hardened into a singular purpose: to free them and fulfill the prophecy. Zeus sought the counsel of Metis, a titaness of wisdom and cunning. Together, they devised a plan to bring Cronus to his knees. Metis brewed a potion of unimaginable potency, a concoction that would force Cronus to relinquish the children he had consumed. Disguised as a humble servant, Zeus approached Cronus with the golden goblet. Cronus, though powerful, had grown complacent in his paranoia. He drank deeply, and at first there was only silence. Then a great rumble coursed through his body. One by one the Olympians emerged: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, fully grown and radiant with divine power. Their liberation was not just a victory over Cronus, but a reunion of a family forged in defiance. Together, they declared war on the Titans, a war that would rage for a decade, shaking the very foundations of the cosmos. But Zeus knew they could not win with strength alone. He descended into Tartarus, the dark abyss where the Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires had been imprisoned. These ancient beings, though monstrous in form, were allies of the Olympians. Zeus freed them, and in gratitude the Cyclopes forged gifts of divine power: Zeus's thunderbolt, Poseidon's trident, and Hades's helm of invisibility. These were not mere weapons. They were extensions of the cosmos itself, symbols of their wielders' dominion over the forces of nature. Armed with these tools, Zeus and his siblings prepared for the battle that would decide the fate of the heavens. The Titanomachy, victory, and the rise of Zeus. The Titanomachy, the war of gods and titans, was unlike any battle before or since. For 10 years the heavens raged, the earth trembled, and the seas churned. It was not a conflict of men, but of forces elemental and eternal. Cronus, driven by wrath and desperation, summoned the full might of the Titans. Towering beings of immeasurable strength, they hurled mountains, unleashed storms, and shook the very fabric of the cosmos. Their voices, deep as the roots of the earth, roared across the battlefield, a chorus of fury and defiance. Yet against this unyielding force stood Zeus and his siblings, the Olympians. Young but determined, they fought with unity and purpose. Zeus, armed with his thunderbolt, became the fulcrum of their might. Each strike lit up the skies, casting shadows so deep they seemed to swallow the stars. The Titans had raw strength, but the Olympians had cunning. Zeus, ever the strategist, unleashed his secret weapons: the Hecatoncheires, 100-armed giants who rained boulders upon the Titans, and the Cyclopes, whose forges churned out weapons imbued with the fire of creation itself. The battlefield was a realm of chaos. The ground split as Poseidon's trident carved through the earth, and rivers of lava surged where Zeus's bolts struck. Hades, cloaked in invisibility, moved like a shadow, striking fear into the hearts of even the mightiest Titans. In the final battle, Zeus faced Cronus himself. The clash was a tempest of energy, their power shaking the heavens. With one final, deafening strike, Zeus unleashed a thunderbolt that split the skies and brought Cronus to his knees. The Titans, defeated, were bound in chains forged from the essence of Tartarus itself. One by one, they were cast into the abyss, their roars fading into silence as the gates of their prisons slammed shut. The Olympians stood victorious. The world, though scarred by their conflict, had been reclaimed. But the echoes of the Titanomachy lingered. Mountains bore the marks of their battles. Rivers flowed with ash and tears, and the heavens carried the memory of a war that shaped the cosmos. To this day, the ruins of temples and ancient writings whisper of that war. Were these myths born from natural disasters, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, or great storms? Or do they recall something far greater, a time when gods and titans clashed in a battle that transcended mortal understanding? The reign of Zeus, justice and desire. With the Titans vanquished, Zeus ascended the throne of Mount Olympus, a seat of power above the clouds, where the air itself seemed charged with divine energy. His rule marked a new era, one of order forged from the chaos of war. Zeus, ever the arbiter, divided the cosmos among his siblings. Poseidon took the seas, turbulent and unpredictable, while Hades claimed the underworld, a shadowy realm where the echoes of life lingered. Zeus retained the heavens, vast and eternal, from which he could watch over all creation. Yet, even as he imposed order, Zeus was not without his flaws. Passionate and fiery, he became entangled in countless affairs, both mortal and divine. These stories, told and retold, revealed a complex ruler whose desires often mirrored those of the mortals who worshipped him. One of the most enduring tales is that of Io, a mortal priestess of Hera. Drawn to her beauty, Zeus pursued her, transforming her into a cow to shield her from Hera's wrath. But Hera's vengeance was relentless. She sent a gadfly to torment Io, driving her across the earth in ceaseless agony. Io's journey, etched in myth, became a tale of suffering and resilience, a reminder of the gods' power and their capricious nature. Zeus's wrath, too, was legendary. When Prometheus defied him by gifting fire to humanity, Zeus's punishment was severe. Chained to a mountain, Prometheus endured an eagle tearing at his liver each day, only for it to regenerate by night. Yet even in his fury, Zeus showed mercy, allowing Heracles, his mortal son, to free Prometheus centuries later. Zeus's reign was not merely one of justice or vengeance, but of balance, a delicate equilibrium between the chaos he had conquered and the passions that still burned within him. His legacy, immortalized in art and myth, reminds us of the complexity of power and the enduring struggle between order and desire. Mysteries of Zeus's legacy. Even as the Olympians ruled from their celestial thrones, the world below bore the mark of their presence. Zeus's legacy was etched into stone, whispered through sacred groves, and carried in the prayers of mortals. The Temple of Zeus at Olympia, once home to a statue so magnificent it was named one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, stood as a testament to his might. Crafted from ivory and gold, the statue depicted Zeus seated on a throne, his gaze commanding and eternal. Though the statue is lost, remnants of its creator's workshop remain, offering glimpses into the artistry that sought to capture the divine. The Oracle of Dodona, where mortals sought Zeus's guidance, was another such place. Here, the rustling of sacred oak leaves was believed to carry his voice, and pilgrims etched their questions onto lead tablets. These relics, still unearthed by archaeologists, reveal a people who looked to Zeus not only as a ruler, but as a source of wisdom and clarity. Even the Dictyon cave, believed to be Zeus's birthplace, holds echoes of his story. Pottery, tools, and votive offerings found within its depths suggest a reverence that transcends myth. Do these artifacts speak to the power of belief, or do they hint at something more? A time, perhaps, when gods and mortals were not so far apart, their worlds intertwined in ways we can only begin to imagine. 7. Conclusion. Myth or reality? And so, we return to the question that lingers at the edge of every myth. Was Zeus merely a creation of mortal imagination, or does his story hold echoes of a forgotten truth? The myths of Zeus and the Olympians speak to something deeper, a reflection of humanity's struggle to understand the forces that shape our lives. They are tales of power and passion, of chaos and order, of gods who embody the very essence of the natural world. The artifacts, the temples, the lead tablets, the caves, offer a bridge between the mortal and the divine, a reminder that myths are not just stories but vessels of meaning. Perhaps Zeus is not just a figure of the past, but a symbol of the eternal. For in every storm, in every flash of lightning, we are reminded of his presence, a force that shaped not only the heavens but the hearts of those who looked to the sky and dared to believe in the divine. As we look to the myths of old, we must ask ourselves, could these stories, passed down through generations, be echoes of something real, memories of a time when gods walked the earth and their actions shaped the world? Perhaps myths are not just tales to entertain, but whispers of a forgotten truth waiting to be uncovered. What if the line between myth and reality is not as clear as we think?